Welcome to the warm-up week 6 edition, and I got Jeff Power, our insider, with me on Ward for Soul. We are talking week 9 football, which means we only got 3 weeks left. Jeff, that means we're into the nitty-gritty. We're into you can't make mistakes now, man. There's 3 games left, so let's take a look at what's going on here as we go into the lineup. In the lineup, we have a game in 22-6A that, I tell you what, we're going to look at the rankings later in the show, but Shadow Creek is hanging on by the skin of their teeth in the rankings because they've taken a couple losses, but they haven't had that bad of a season, and they can turn that whole thing around by taking out Pearland, which nobody's been able to do.
Yeah, that's a big matchup, no doubt about it. Of course, Shadow Creek comes in 5-2 overall, 4-1 in district. The Pearland Oilers are 8-0, 6-0 in district play. Now, Shadow Creek has scored 279 points while allowing just 125. The Sharks have won 2 in a row, and probably more importantly, 4 of their last 5 with a 30-27 loss to Dawson mixed in. Now, the Sharks don't have the tiebreaker with Dawson, who's also got 1 loss. Of course, their quarterback, Tavis Coleman, he's done a great job this year, close to 1,600 yards passing. Their big star running back, Tristan Willis, he's the main threat out of the backfield, and he's doing great, as is Jasha Price. Those 2 guys get it done on the ground, but when you go to the air, that's where they really can get it done. Jalen Adai, Aiden Starling, Bryce Coleman, Chris Stewart, Max Petrie, all great receivers, and a big reason why Shadow Creek has been able to kind of get things rolling again. Now, of course, Pearland, they've been great all year. Jake Westmoreland, close to 1,100 yards passing, 11 TDs in the air. Jamari Champion, he's the big stud running back, 131 yards rushing, that's per game, 1,100 total, and 18 touchdowns. And if you had a chance to see them yet, Ward, I've seen
some highlights.
Yeah, the way that they use Jamari Champion and Roy Swan is amazing. Swan is also a great running back, about 600 yards rushing, 12 touchdowns. But it's just a good 1-2 threat. And then when they want to throw it, they surprise you. Guys like Jordan Hernandez, 63 yards receiving per game. But no doubt about it, they like to run the football first, and they play great defense as well. Hey, let's call it. This is for the district title. Let's get it over with now because Pearland finishes out the season with South Houston next week, and South Houston hasn't won a game yet this year. So if Shadow Creek's going to make a run at it, they got to be this Friday against Pearland.
Exactly. It'll be the district title for Pearland. If Shadow Creek wins, it's going to be tie-breaking madness.
That's right.
We got to start calling up district representatives to find out what the tiebreakers are. All right. Another big game in 23-6A. This is a big game every year, but it lost a little of its luster when Atascocita took some losses earlier this season. But Atascocita taking on North Shore, who has scored 70 points the last 3 games, so they are clicking.
They are about to get into the meat of their schedule. More on North Shore in a second. Atascocita, they bounced back with big wins over Humble 35-3 and Kingwood 61-34 to improve to 4-3. They are 2-2 in district. Of course, the Eagles are averaging 45 points per game, but they're having a tough time stopping people. Kingwood actually led that game 14-0, but Carday, All-Day Mac, he had one of his best games of the season. He is a precision passer. People think of him as more of a running threat. That dude can throw the football as well. Several touchdown passes that were just dimes against Kingwood. Pretty much all big plays. He was just tossing the ball around into his plethora of receivers last week against Kingwood. By the way, though, the 34 points allowed is something to be concerned about. I think Atascocita can play with pretty much everybody, but just expect high-scoring games when they play, and this will definitely be one of them. North Shore is averaging 49 points a contest. They're 6-2 overall. They've won 4 in a row, and they sit on top of District 23-6A, tied with C.E. King, who's 6-1 overall and 4-0 in district. Of course, Summer Creek is a game back of those 2 teams at 3-1. It has the tiebreaker with Atascocita after beating the Eagles 38-35. So the District of Doom, as we like to call it, is all about positioning right now. I think Atascocita's win over Kingwood sealed the top 4 playoff teams. It's just a matter of where they will finish and who's going to go D1, D2, all that good stuff. But North Shore has outscored their opponents by over 300 points this year. They've got control of their own destiny because after they play Atascocita, they'll play C.E. King and Summer Creek. And of course, they're led by their quarterback, Caleb Maryland, 22 touchdown passes, 4 on the ground. And then their running back is Ezekiah Johnson, about 65 yards rushing per game, 8 TDs. And of course, CJ Toney is another big boost on the ground. And they've got a bunch of wide receivers, just like Atascocita does. Jalen Bacard, 91 yards receiving per game, 7 touchdowns. And Dorian Barnes, another big threat, 78 yards receiving per game. And throw in Aubrey Johnson in there, too. All these guys are great. If they get down by the goal line, look out for LaDamian DeFreeze. He's got 5 touchdowns. How about that name, by the way? DeFreeze. I mean, that is that's a good name for a receiver. He's going to freeze the defenders out there.
Exactly. Sounds like a daggone superhero, too.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, 15-6A is certainly up for grabs as well. Magnolia, boy, they could have put their foot right in the first place spot, but they let that game get away from them against Klein Collins. And it doesn't get any easier because they have Tomball coming in, who also only has 1 loss in district play.
Yeah, no doubt. Magnolia, I tell you what, they're going to, I hope not, but they may regret losing the way they did to Collins. And I feel like Collins has won a couple of games like that this year, real close nail biters. But Tomball has won 4 in a row since losing a heartbreaker to Klein Collins, 35-34. And before that, had a really good win against Cinco Ranch, as it kind of turns out, because Cinco Ranch is doing well in their own district. More on that in a moment. Their win over rival Tomball Memorial, 49-28. I mean, throw out the records. That's a rivalry game. I know Memorial's not having the best season, but when those two get together, look out. So Tomball feeling pretty good about that win. I like their win over Klein. You know, they beat Klein 53-47 October 3rd. That was huge. Tomball, Magnolia, and Klein Collins all have 1 district loss. So it's going to kind of shake out here in these last 3 weeks. Tomball quarterback Jackson Faldine, 17 touchdown passes, close to 1,400 yards passing. Their running back, Ian Thomas, he is a big threat on the ground, about 125 yards rushing per game and 15 TDs, plus Trevin Johnson. He's another big threat out of the backfield. And then, of course, Miles Roy. He's a tight end / receiver, if you will. He kind of does a little bit of everything. 64 yards receiving this year. And Hunter Ratke's another big stud who's right on his heels. As for Magnolia, as you mentioned, that 45-42 loss to Klein Collins really hurt. You know, they got to find a way to win these close games. But that was their first loss of the season. Let's just keep it real here. Chase Lowry had 2 rushing touchdowns versus Collins. He's the quarterback. Of course, Cash Farrell, 3 touchdowns last week versus Collins. And that was a game that Magnolia actually led by double digits in the 4th quarter and kind of let it slip away. So we'll see if they don't, keep it on the ground this week and try to continue to run the ball. But it's going to be a big battle against Tomball. Keep an eye on Cole Sorensen, also the receiver for Magnolia. He's coming off a big game. He might be playing with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, the big thing for Magnolia is don't let 1 loss beat you twice. Don't let it beat you in this next game. Get yourself refocused and get back into it. A team that is definitely focused is the C King Panthers. They are on a roll. I got a chance to talk to Cory Laxen earlier this week, and he talked about how he's not surprised at how good they're doing.
The Houston area Chevy dealers. Visit your nearest Chevy dealer to test drive our award-winning products. Serving up the best treats and eats in Texas. Stop by DQ and treat yourself before and after the game.
All right, I am joined by Cory Laxen from CE King, and man, I tell you what, when we first saw your team, right, you beat Spring Westfield, and we were all kind of laying back in our chairs, and all of a sudden you were up big on Dixon. We sat up a little bit. Then you put it to Atascocita. We're all like this now. Then you went up 42 on Summer Creek. We're right up. Now we're searching the schedule. We're like, when can we come? This is the casuals. They're like, when can we come see the squad play? When did you as a coach get a feeling like, okay, this is a special team that can do special things?
In the spring.
In the spring. Okay.
In the spring, yeah. I knew that, we were having a lot of success in track. So I knew our team speed was going to carry over to football. And then when going through spring football, you kind of seen growth, and that's kind of what spring football's for is those old seniors are gone. The new ones are coming in. Let's see what our niche is here. Let's see what kind of leadership we're going to have. And, I think the kids just bought in extremely early. In January, it just felt different. It felt different in the weight room. Then we thought, okay, this is just the honeymoon phase of a new coach. And and it just carried over, and it's still, I don't know if it's the honeymoon phase or not, but it's still going on, 8-9 months later, 10 months later. So, consistency is something that we preach, and this is, the kids are just bought in.
Well, I was going to say, it's one thing to get up big on Summer Creek, but did it help a little bit that they came back? You had some teachable moments in there, like, okay, they weathered our storm, we weathered theirs, and still came out with the W. Is that something that you can lead? Because now, last year you didn't make the playoffs, but this year there's no worry on that. I mean, obviously if there's a collapse here, but we're not talking like that. This looks like a playoff squad and a deep playoff squad. Can you pick up something from that Summer Creek comeback and maybe the Dickinson game to be like, okay, we can learn from this?
Yeah, no doubt. The Dickinson game, there was a lot left on the field. Special teams played a big role in that. We had a drop punt return that led to a touchdown. And then in the last minute of the game, we had a block punt. They blocked our punt and gave them great field position. There was no doubt they were going to turn that into some points. In the Summer Creek game, we knew what we were getting into. We're talking about two of the state's top teams, right? When Dickinson and then the Summer Creek, we knew that 42, we knew that big lead wasn't going to last long. Eventually, that switch was going to come on. They're one of the best teams in the state. They got athletes all over the field, and they're coached good, and they wasn't going to fold. It was our job to come out in the second half and ball control, because we've seen how explosive their offense could be. And then, their defense makes plays. So just, being able to ball control it in the second half and to have our kids learn what it was like to go through some, I guess you could call it adversity, because it kind of showed up late. But to overcome that and understand that, hey, talking about two of the state's best teams in Dickinson and Summer Creek, and they're going to make plays. It was just a while for that switch to come on for Summer Creek, but we knew it was going to happen. And but our kids responded well. The great thing is we came out with the win, and we were able to have a lot of teachable moments. Sometimes, your victories are the ones where it's hard to learn from, because you're so excited about the win, you overlook the details. But in that victory right there, you were able to really break that film down and find out the areas in which we lacked, and it was good for us.
Well, Coach, good luck with this game with Kingwood. We'll be there Thursday night, and I appreciate you joining me.
No problem. I appreciate you having me. You have a good day.
The Houston area Chevy dealers. Visit your nearest Chevy dealer to test drive our award-winning products. Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today.
All right, let's come back to some more games here. I appreciate Coach Laxen joining us, but let's get back into the games of Week 9. More big ones in the agenda here. Let's first start off by talking about 24-6A. Clear Springs is taking on Dickinson. As you're going to tell me, Dickinson's finally getting to the meat of their schedule here.
Yeah, they are. They are undefeated, 7-0, 4-0 in district play. Clear Springs, 5-2. They suffered their first district loss last week against Clear Falls, 49-35. I was at that game, and their defense looked not as good as I thought they would look. But, again, rivalry game, a lot of big plays in that contest. But they are still 3-1 in district play. They're just a game behind Dickinson. And, the way I look at it, all these teams they're gonna have their chance to sort things out in the next couple of weeks. So Cody Rosas, I tell you what, he's the quarterback for Clear Springs. He and receiver Sean Carter are amazing. Just a huge game on offense. Rosas was shaken up in that game, though, and had to leave. That was a little bothersome. We'll have to kind of check on that as we get closer to game time. But he left with an injury. Carter had a huge kickoff return for a touchdown. It was like 90 yards. He makes all kind of plays in the air. He is just an all-around great player, Sean Carter. Keep an eye on for Darren Bolden as well. He's averaging 107 yards rushing per game, and he's a big reason why Clear Springs can get back in the win column. But Dickinson is going to be a tough test for them. They're undefeated. They're tied for the district lead with Deer Park, I might add, both 4-0. They will meet in the final week of the regular season, I might add as well. Dickinson plays Clear Falls next week. So a lot on the line for Dickinson in these final 3 weeks of the regular season in 24-6A. Malachi Gamble continues to be the threat on the ground for them, 80 yards rushing per game. And also Taven Gamble, 64 yards receiving per game. And it's all Lorenzo Aguirre, the quarterback. When the season started, I was thinking, we'll see how he plays. He's not the biggest quarterback and all that, but man, he finds a way to get it done. He's got a really high quarterback rating of 158. He's got a lot of guys to get it to, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's a great player. It's funny, I talked about the meat of their schedule. They had the meat at the beginning. Their first 3 games, they beat KC, King, and Cy Fair, and then they had the meet again at the back end.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and give you a little teaser. They're probably going to be playing in our game of the week in week 12, too, when they play Atascocita in the first round of playoffs if everything holds to form. That's one that you're probably not going to want to miss. Another game that you don't want to miss, and you won't miss, is Bay City at El Campo this Friday night.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Bay City's 5-2. They're 2-1 in district. El Campo 6-1, 2-0 in district. It's the oldest continuous rivalry in Texas high school football. I think it started in 1911. No interruptions. That's almost hard to believe. El Campo leads the series 66-45 with 9 ties. But you know what? Bay City won this match in 23 by a score of 25-21. Which ended a 4-year losing streak against the Rice Birds. And then Bay City won again last year, 26-20. So they're riding a 2-game winning streak. It's been kind of a streaky series in the recent years. Bay City is coming off a loss to Lavernia, though, 25-22. Lavernia is good. They had the same record as El Campo. So this is a must-win game for the Black Cats. Quarterback, Camarion Wiggins. Have you seen him play? I mean, against Sealy, he did everything. It was just the quarterback. He was going out for passes. He's got close to 800 yards this year, 11 TDs. He really is like their all-everything player, but they've got to get him in space. That's the key. And running back Aiden Williams can also get it done, about 120 yards rushing per game on the ground. And, just listen to some of these legendary players for the Black Cats. I was doing some research here. Richard Night Train Lane, he was a cornerback in the NFL with the Detroit Lions. He played for Bay City, as did Simon Fletcher, who was a linebacker and defensive end in the NFL, plus Hartley Dykes. So a lot of studs there. And, and El Campo's had some big studs. Ruben Owens over at Texas A&M. Of course, the rushing record, 7,076 yards rushing and 102 touchdowns at El Campo. And, of course, now he's at A&M. And you can also look at Michael Perry from the late 90s. He went to Rice University. And there's even a guy named Glenn Lippman. I looked him up. Lippman actually had 91 career touchdowns for the Rice Birds back in the 1940s. So everyone thinks it was all defense back then, but no, not really. But El Campo, this is the 122nd meeting. They are the Rice Birds. Their only loss was to Needville in overtime, 36-35. They scored 49 points in each of their last 3 games, all victories over Giddings, Jones, and Floresville. El Campo has outscored their opponents 307-75. And Vladimir Garcia, he's the stud on the ground, 146 yards rushing and 15 touchdowns. And Kalon Taylor, 76 yards rushing per game. And Kylan is doing a great job. He and that Garcia are a good 1-2 punch. And then the quarterback's, he's the coach's son, Colt Reeve. 6 touchdown passes, the son of Travis Reeve, who used to coach over at Cuero. And he's done a great job with El Campo this year, no doubt.
That's going to be a fun one. Another one you got to get to early because they all come out for that one for sure. And just to make sure you know that Jeff Power doesn't just go to one game a week. Another game he's going to is on Thursday night, tonight. It's going to be Katy Cinco Ranch against Katy Maid Creek. And I got to tell you, you look over District 19-6A. If there's ever a must-win, it's right now for Maid Creek. They got Katy coming up, so they cannot afford to lose this one, but they're going to be an underdog.
Yeah, they will be, and they run that slot T, wing T offense. It's pretty hard to stop. It really is. But Cinco Ranch, who lost to Katy, they've beaten Taylor, Jordan, Pato, and Tompkins since that loss to Katy. And they beat all 4 of those teams, by the way, by less than a touchdown. So you can look at that, is it glass half empty or half full? I think half full. They're finding a way to win games late. I like that. Their quarterback, Davis Rupp's done a great job. 15 TD passes this year. Rupp, however you want to say it, he's definitely the leader on this team. When you see them, he delivers the ball to his receivers, like Jacob Chavez, 80 yards receiving per game, 11 touchdowns, and Maxwell Williams, 62 yards receiving per game. And if they need to run it, it's Braden Gonzalez and Jacob Chavez. Those guys are great. But Marcus Gadlin is the real stud, 75 yards per game and 10 touchdowns. But, of course, they're going to have to find a way to get past Kosiak Pala, the leader of yes.
Impossible. It can't be done.
He's amazing, right? I think I said earlier this year that I think he could be playing for Texas next year. I mean, if he put a Longhorn uniform on right now, he'd play for him. So
Exactly.
he's been amazing. But as you mentioned, Maid Creek, they need to win this game. They already have 2 district losses, as does Jordan and Pato. So Katy leading the way at 5-0. We'll see. But that wing T offense I mentioned, Watch out for Jamal Jones Jr., 109 yards rushing per game, 9 touchdowns. Chad Nelson, 83 yards receiving per game when they throw it. And Adrian Gomez, 9 touchdown passes. So they do throw more than most wing T teams. But I tell you what, you got to be ready. When they come out of the huddle, they sprint to the line of scrimmage, and they snap the ball within seconds, and they catch a lot of teams off guard.
That's what they're going to have to do. They got to catch them off guard because later on in the schedule they have Katy. That's probably going to be a loss. They cannot afford to have 4 district losses. Must win. You'll be there to see it. I'll be there to see your highlights because I won't be there to see it. But it's going to be a great week of football. Make sure everybody goes out and catches a game. Perfect weather down there in Houston. I can't say the same about that in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But Houston is going to be good weather, good football. We leave you now with the coaches' rankings, as there's been a little bit of movement, especially after College Park's big win over the Woodlands last week. They move up a little bit. Take a look at it. We leave you with that. Go catch a game. Jeff Power's going to catch 2.